ONDC is a very, very interesting world first, I should say an experiment, because it's still on its way to getting established. But already in its short 1.5 year real life journey, we are seeing signs of the promise with which it was started. The idea of democratization, we all understand democracy. We've just been through one of the major events of democracy, which is our national election, world's largest democracy, right? There we understand what democracy means. Each person has a vote. What does democracy mean in commerce? In commerce, it means each person has an opportunity for business. And as we look at the existing structure of e-commerce around the world, not just in India, before ONDC, we have a form of e-commerce that is a platform e-commerce. And in a platform, there is one requirement, which is the buyer and seller both must be present in the same application. Now, when that requirement is there, then automatically everybody, as a seller, you want to be there where the buyers want to be there where the sellers are. And so over time what happens is only one or two players become big because everybody wants to be in the same place. No seller wants to keep track of all the places where buyers are present. No buyer wants to keep track of all the places where a seller is present. So the structure of an e-commerce business, which is dependent on the platform approach where a buyer and seller must both be present, automatically leads to this gravitational force. So world over this is true. And India also we see it. When you look at e-commerce, we see only a couple of players. When we think of ride hailing, we can only think of a couple of players. If you want to order food, again you can think only of a couple of players. You want to buy medicine, again a couple of players. Because nobody wants to be thinking of a child to buy this, now which application I have to go to buy that. You would rather go to that one which has everything and do it. The problem is that despite that, we have multiplicity. So on the application on which you order things for your home, you can't order food. On the application on which you order food, you can't book a taxi. So while individual applications might have done very well for a particular sector, we end up having to do multiple applications for multiple things. But that is not how commerce was. When you went into the neighborhood market in the pre-digital era, you bought your stationery and you bought your clothes and you bought your vegetables and you went to your bank and updated your passbook. You did all the activities you needed to do in a single trip. Internet is open. But think of all the activities you do on the internet, whether it is watching videos, doing research, reading up information, getting entertained, doing social media, doing your services like banking. You use only one browser. Do you have one browser for banking and one browser for videos and one for social media? You don't. That is how open networks should be and convenient. And once everyone is on a single network, then you have the opportunity for any buyer to buy from any seller, regardless of category, regardless of scale. And that is the open network that ONDC is bringing in. We have made, I would say, a pretty promising start. We really began in Jan of last year, and in all of January we had only 1,000 orders. 1.5 years later, June, we ended at nearly 10 million orders. So that tells us that this different way of doing business is real. It's not hypothetical, it's not conceptual, it is real, and it is getting adopted. Not everyone has done it overnight, but it is getting adopted faster, I would say, than some of what we consider established got established when they initially came in. The second thing is that 80% of the sellers on our network are small sellers, and by small sellers I mean standalone individuals, like a kirana store, like a restaurant, like an artisan, like a farmer. 80% contributing to more than half the orders are by small sellers. More than half the orders, even today, in this initial stage, are coming from tier 2 cities and beyond, not tier 1 cities. Tier 1 is contributing less than half, although that's where e-commerce is largely well developed. So even in its fledgling small life, ONDC is demonstrating the power of making commerce available to everyone. Now, India is a country of 140 crores, that's 10 digits. So whatever initiative you take that is in hundreds or thousands, while maybe material for most countries, actually for India becomes small. And therefore it's very exciting when an organization of the size and scale of Grameen Foundation joins hands, because we know now they're operating in 7-8 digit size scale, which is going to bring force to this network very quickly. So we are looking for many such entities, and therefore today we celebrate the connection with Grameen Foundation on helping us reach to the deep parts of the country, helping us access people who have a lot of things to sell. Everybody who makes something to sell is doing it because they have the skill or because there's a demand in the market for them. And so how do we connect all of this and realize their dreams and their full potential? Not just the activities they do today, but the full revenue potential of all the skill sets and capabilities that they're bringing in. So today's hand holding and handshake is very exciting for us because it allows the idea and the dream of ONDC to move forward in a big way to the deep parts of the country.